Hi everyone, it's Tips, Tricks, and How-To by Gone Researching. This is the third instructional video in a series I'm creating on Family Tree Maker 2017. My hope is this will serve as a visual supplement to the companion guide and the help built into the program. I think everyone should be able to learn something useful regardless of whether you're new to Family Tree Maker 2017, upgrading from an older version, or have been using the program for a while now. Because this is one of the workspaces where you will spend most of your time, to cover it properly I have divided it into two parts. This video is the first part in which we will review the People Workspace Tree View tab and the People Toolbar. The next video will be the People Workspace Part 2 reviewing the Person View tab and the specialized person menu that appears in the menu toolbar. This is People Workspace Part 1. I'd like to first point out that I'm using Family Tree Maker 2017, the build released by Software Mac Kiev in 2017, on an older computer that came with Windows 7 but is now running Windows 10. There is an update to Family Tree Maker 2017 that was released in February 2018, but I'm not using it for two reasons. I have not had time to install it, and I'm keeping my program the same version as a cousin's while we work on something. For those already running the update from February 2018, don't worry, everything here still applies to that release, though a few features have been tweaked, and I'll try to remember to point these out along the way. In either situation, in order to use the Records Merge feature, you must have the Family Tree Maker 2017 version and be signed into your Family Search account, which is free, and or be signed into your Ancestry data subscription to access the record collections on Ancestry, which require a subscription fee. In the first and second video of this series, we covered the Family Tree Maker 2017 interface and the Plan Workspace. With this video and the next video, we will review the People Workspace. In Family Tree Maker, all the different options and features are organized so that similar things are together, which means there are 7 workspaces. These workspaces are Plan, People, Places, Media, Sources, Publish, and Web Search. The People Workspace, which you see here, is where you build your tree files backwards, forwards, and sideways, adding and connecting the people, your ancestors and relatives, viewing them as family groups and as individuals, as well as in a pedigree and family chart view. I think of the People Workspace as looking at your tree from the people point of view. In the People Workspace, there are 2 view tabs on the People toolbar, Tree and Person. The tree view of the People Workspace, where we are now, is where you work on your tree looking at it in terms of a family unit. In previous versions, this was called the Family View tab. The left panel of most of the workspaces is the List panel. The center panels are the Data panels, and the right panel is the Editing Information panel. As I said at the start of this video, we'll cover the Person View tab in the next video. Let's take a look at the rest of the items in the People toolbar. The left-right arrows, navigation buttons, located left of the Workspace tabs, jump you back and forth between the last 2 workspaces or tabs you visited. Next we have the tab views of the workspace, in this case the Tree View tab and the Person View tab. At the right end of the People toolbar are quick links. To add color coding to the selected person, the highlighted person down here, to add a father, mother, spouse, child, or unrelated person to your tree, to delete the highlighted selected person, and there are quick links to either print or share via email or exporting a file, a family group sheet, a family view report, individual report, photo album, relationship chart, timeline report. Printing and sharing reports and charts from the People Workspace uses the Report Chart default settings. If you want to change the default settings before printing or sharing, use the Publish Workspace. All but the color coding link stays on the toolbar for the Person View. In the Person View, a pedigree navigation bar is added, which we will review when we look at the Person View tab in the next video. Color coding is a new feature of Family Tree Maker 2017. It's a visual aid to see relationships or to use as a visual key to aspects of your tree that are important to you. With the root or desired person selected, highlighted, select the color coding from the People toolbar. The choices that come up are Color the current person and pick your color. Color all the ancestors of the person, pick one color, or color all the ancestors of the selected person using a 4-color scheme and then pick your scheme, or color all the descendants of the selected person, pick your color. You are also able to specify the use of colors when using filters in the index list. Use a color to identify a specific family you are working on, a color to identify the military persons in your tree, and so on. It's up to you. But take note, in the Family Tree Maker 2017 version build that was released in 2017, there's a limit of 6 colors for each individual. For the Family Tree Maker 2017 version build that was released in February 2018, the limit was increased to 8 colors for each individual. You can see these different colors here. With color coding applied, color bars will appear on all relevant person thumbnails in the Tree Viewer Generations panel in both the Pedigree and Family View. And colored dots, up to 3 in the 2017 release, with more in the 2018 release, are shown next to the name in the index list. For the 2018 update, you may need to resize the list panel in order to see the additional colors. If more than one color applies to a person, then all the corresponding colors will appear, up to 4 in the 2017 release and up to 8 in the 2018 release. Mouse over the color to see a help tag explaining the color's use. You can see that here. Here, Ancestors of Ebenezer. To remove color, click the No Color box, which is the gray box with the X in it, to remove that color. To remove all color from your tree, choose Clear All Colors. This tree has an example of a variety of color use. I'm tracing a brick wall, trying to find the parent of a person, and so I've highlighted each particular family with a different color, and for the potential matches to who may be the father, I've indicated that in red. So that's one way to use color coding. Let's take a look at the tree view. On the left at the bottom of the list panel in the tree view are 3 tabs: Index, Bookmarks, and History. Yes, they do not appear as your standard tabs like in the menu or People toolbar above. They are sometimes referred to as buttons, but they are tabs. The index listing shows all the people in your tree and is the default list that shows. The person's name with the house next to it is the current home person. A home person is the main person in your tree and from whom the relationships are calculated. You can sort the index to list persons by family, meaning surname, given name, as well as birth date, marriage date, or death date. There are options here to use the AKA after the middle name, also known as, or add it as an additional entry in the index list. Use titles if available, or to use married names for females. You can also expand the index list here to show birth date, marriage date, death date, lifespan, with the option to show just the year instead of the complete date. The index list will also show applied color coding. Using the Find to type a name quickly moves you to that portion of the list where the surname is, in this case, or to the person in the list. There's also a pull-down menu on the Find to select from the 25 most recently visited persons. Or you can scroll through the list manually. The index list can be filtered so you can include certain people, such as just the ancestors of a person or the descendants of a person or both, or by a criteria you specify. The resulting filtered list can be saved for future use. You can even apply a color code to the saved list. If needed, you can also adjust the persons in that filtered list later. In the 2018 update, saved lists can now be selected in the export window and exported as separate tree files if desired. Click on the Bookmarks tab to change the list to show the persons you have marked with a bookmark, which is a way to easily return to a person later. Why bookmark a person? Do you do a lot of work on a particular family and return often to that person? Is that person way back in your tree or far off in another direction? Do you have a really large tree file with a lot of people? Bookmarks really speed up finding the person in a tree. Most of us usually have an ancestral family we are concentrating on and focusing our current research efforts. A bookmark will quickly take you to that family or person. So how do you bookmark a person? You can bookmark a person by having that person selected, highlighted, going to that specialized person menu, and then selecting Add Bookmark. There's also a keyboard shortcut that, if you can remember, you can use that. And now Dorcas appears in the bookmark list. You can go to the index list and right-click a person to add a bookmark from the menu that pops up. To delete a bookmark, follow the same steps, and you can delete the bookmark. If you've watched my prior videos, you know there are usually multiple ways to do the same tasks, so I try to point these out as I can. Unlike the index list as a whole, bookmarks cannot be filtered. Click the History tab to see who you have recently worked on, either adding or editing. Selecting a name takes you to that person. The list consists of the last 200 people you have worked on, and Family Tree Maker recalls the list even after you close and restart the Family Tree Maker program. This list cannot be filtered either. The key with the history list is to mouse over a person's name to see a list of when and what was added, changed, and deleted for that person. It's kind of a built-in research log. In the center of the People Workspace tree view, there are two data panels, the Tree Viewer and the Family Group Viewer. The Tree Viewer has been called a Generations panel, and the Family Group Viewer has been called a Family Group panel in the built-in help. Regardless of what you call it, the top panel, the Tree Viewer Generations panel, has a pedigree view and a family view of your tree file. On the left of the panel, there are icons to adjust the view. The house icon will reposition the tree on the home person of your tree file. There are two tree icons to change the view between the pedigree view, the sideways tree, and the family tree view, the up and down tree. The picture icon adds or removes the designated portrait from the tree. This can save some space. The generation slider adds or reduces the number of generations shown in the pedigree and the family view. Clicking on the family icon down here opens the Tree Viewer Generations panel and hides the lower panel. In the February 2018 update of Family Tree Maker 2017, you can now change the background color of the Tree Viewer Generations panel to something other than white. Solid arrows in the trees indicate that there is at least one person in the next generation and a path to follow. Selecting the spouse of the root person would be who the tree is based on, at the top or the left or the top of the tree will make the spouse the root person and switch the tree to that person's pedigree or family view. If the root person has children entered, you can quickly make a child the root person by clicking on the downward arrow. Besides allowing you to view your pedigree chart or family chart, the views also act as a navigation panel. Select someone in the tree and watch them appear in the Family Group Viewer Family Group panel below. You can also add people, like a grandparent, using the tree. Right-click a person and a menu appears allowing you to edit the person, detach the person, view details in the Person tab, delete the person, set the person as the home person, add a bookmark for that person, or export a branch based on that person. Now, when Ancestry.com sold Family Tree Maker, reworked some behind-the-scene parts of its website and decided to allow APIs, which stands for Application Programming Interfaces. Some things changed for Family Tree Maker, partly due to the website update and partly because the program and the website were now owned by two different companies. In order to sync a Family Tree Maker tree to an online tree, you have to have Family Tree Maker 2017. This feature no longer works in older versions. In order to see the tree hints from Ancestry in your Family Tree Maker tree, your tree now must be synced to an online tree at Ancestry. So if you have your tree synced to an online tree at Ancestry, and you are logged into Ancestry from within Family Tree Maker, you will see your tree hints, those shaky leaves, in the Tree Viewer Generations panel in both the Pedigree view and the Family view. You can see those here. Mouse over the leaf to display a summary of the hints. Click on the leaf to open the Web Search Workspace to see the hints and accept or disregard them. In addition, if you are logged into your Family Search account and have opted to see the hints from Family Search, there, you will see those also in the Tree Viewer Generations panel next to the shaky leaves. You can always turn hinting off if you'd like, and that may increase your program's performance. Now, even though my hints are turned on, I've recently done that, so my hints from Family Search have not populated here. If they were populated, you would see a blue outlined square or a box. The bottom panel, the Family Group Viewer Family Group panel, is essentially a family group card for the currently selected highlighted person, showing his or her family relationships. The selected person can be at the parent-spouse level or in the child level. And as you change persons, selected person will appear in the Editing Information panel. Select the grandparent level and the Family Group View panel changes by moving the grandparent to the parent level. So it can be edited. To the right of each spouse's name is a head icon. Selecting this, you can add a new spouse, switch between spouses, or set spouse order and select a preferred spouse. A preferred spouse is the one that will initially appear on the Family Group Viewer panel. Add a child to the couple by clicking on the Add Child, which appears in a lighter font color. To the right of the marriage fact are some icons. The couple icon will bring up a window showing the couple's shared facts such as a marriage fact, notes, and media. The up and down arrows allow you to manually adjust the order of the children, while the arrows forming a circle will automatically sort all the children by age. The last icon looks like a piece of lattice and is used for blended families to not show all children of both parents in one list. Icons will precede the children's name, indicating if that child is a child of the showing father, the showing mother, or both. You can turn that on and off as desired. To the left of each child's name is an icon in the Go column, which navigates the child to the parent level. A goldish arrow indicates the child is a direct ancestor of the home person. A solid blue arrow indicates the child has children but doesn't lead to the home person, meaning this is a collateral line to the home person. An outlined arrow indicates the child has no children. A house icon indicates the child is the home person. Now, right-clicking a person in the parental level or the child level will bring up a menu that will allow you to edit the person, detach the person, view details in the Person View tab, delete the person, set as a home person, view spouse, set the spouse order, show blended families, all children or of both parents, and to export a branch based on the selected person. Regardless of where you select a person, in the List panel, the Tree Viewer Generations panel, the Family Group Viewer Family Group panel, that selected person will appear in the Editing Information panel on the right side of the workspace, and you may have noticed that. It is in the Editing panel that you add, edit, delete facts and events and a few other things for that person. Selecting the silhouette icon at the top of the Editing panel will allow you to add a new picture to Family Tree Maker or to select an existing one as the designated portrait for the selected person. This can be a photo or an image of a record or even a graphic. If there's already a portrait, you can view it, do not show it, or refresh it. To the right of the portrait icon is the person's name and the designation as the home person or the person's relationship to the current home person, such as a father or a sister or brother. Right-clicking the designation area will allow you to set that person as the new home person. To the right of the person's name, let's switch trees here, you will see the hint icons, Shaky Leaf for Ancestry and Blue Outline Box for Family Search, that you can mouse over to see details or click to go to the web search workspace if your tree is synced with an online tree at Ancestry.com and you are logged into your account. Below that, are tabs right here showing icons representing facts, media, notes, web links, and tasks, which switch the editing panel to that category so you can edit that category. The default and non-removable items in the Fact tab of the Editing panel are name, sex, birth date and place, death date and place, and marriage date and place. When a fact event has an entry, a source citation icon appears to the right so you can add a citation for that fact event. When you are in a date field, like here, a date calculator will appear to the right that you can use to determine the date based on the date of a known event and the age at the time of the event. The most common use is to determine a birth date from the age given on the date of a death, such as from a tombstone. A pencil icon appears to the right of a filled-in name and location field. For a name field, it brings up an Edit Name windows where you can clearly identify given names from surnames and suffixes. For a location field, it brings up the Resolve Place Names tool. Where you can tweak your location so it matches an entry in the Places database. Any location name that is not found in the location database will be marked with a map icon that has a question mark showing it is unresolved. In the February 2018 update, a navigation icon to the Places workspace sits next to the Places field now. The description field is used by some merged records from Ancestry to hold index details about the person. You can opt to keep these or remove them so you can add your own information. The description is often used to record the name of a cemetery or a church. Now, if you have taken any genealogy classes or read any genealogy how-to books, you know you are taught to record a place as it was known at the time of the event. And though it might look like someone moved, it's possible that the location name changed rather than the person changing places. However, most genealogy programs today, they use a standardized place database so that cool features like built-in mapping technology can be offered. But what is a genealogist to do about this conflict? Many use the standardized place name in the location name field, such as here, and put the at time or then or was location name in the description field, as you see here. If you're not seeing a facts description field in the editing panel, I will show you how to make that appear momentarily. Here's a tip. Do you know that you can add other facts and events to the editing panel? Birth records only exist so far back, so for some localities or ethnicities, church records are the primary records and not all christening baptism records list a birth date. Quite often they just list a baptism christening date from which an approximate birth date may be inferred sometimes. So having the ability to add a baptism christening event to the editing panel can greatly help in the information entry process. You can do this by selecting the Customize View button at the bottom of the editing panel. When you click on the Customize View button at the bottom of the editing information panel, a window appears. From the two lists, individual facts and shared facts, on the left, you can choose which additional facts you want to add to the editing panel. Now, I would not add every fact you might use, rather I would add the main facts you would almost always use for everyone. My personal preference is to add the baptism and burial facts to the default facts. To add a fact to the editing panel, select, highlight the desired fact in the column on the left, and then click the right pointing arrow to add it to the right. Then once you have your desired facts appearing in the column on the right, highlight a fact and use the up and down arrows to move and reorganize the facts into the order that you want them to appear in the editing information panel. My choice is birth, baptism, death, and burial. Shared facts will appear below individual facts in the editing information panel. Select OK or hit Enter on the keyboard to see the changes appear in the editing panel. The arrow button to the right of the Customize View button is a navigation hint button telling you who is next and how to move with keyboard shortcut to the next person. Now, how do you get a facts description to show if it's not already showing for you? Under the Edit in the menu toolbar, select Manage Facts. A dialog window appears that on the left lets you select various facts or even create a custom fact. So select the birth, death, marriage, or whatever fact in the list you want to edit. Then on the right, select the Properties button. Then under the Fact options here, change the option from Date Place to Date Place Description. For facts that are generally not considered event facts, like a vital event, you will be able to choose description only as an option. Some facts can also be marked as private, so they will not be shared with others. Additional properties of each fact can be managed, but most users probably will not need to do so. Managing facts applies to the facts in the current tree and not all your tree files. Before we leave the tree view for the person view in the next video, when Family Tree Maker was rewritten back in 2008, this tree view on the People Workspace threw a lot of users into a tizzy. Comments were, "I can't see anything, it's too busy, I want my old Family Tree Maker simple look back." A feature to remember about most of the workspaces in Family Tree Maker 2017 is that many of these various panels can either be resized or closed. So don't be afraid to tweak the size of the panels to your preferences. Is the list panel distracting? Well, close it. Click that icon. Need more room on the Family Group Viewer panel so all the children show? Well, raise it so you see less of the Tree Viewer Generations panel and more of the family group. With a couple tweaks, the workspace is, let's say, calmer and somewhat reminiscent of the old Family Tree Maker interface of days past. Make your view the way you want it. I hope you enjoyed and learned something from this video. As I said at the start of this video, this is the People Workspace Part 1, reviewing the Tree View tab and the People Toolbar. The next video is the People Workspace Part 2, which reviews the Workspace's Person View tab and the specialized Person menu that appears in the Menu toolbar. It would really be beneficial to watch both parts to see how the different views are similar and yet different, and the advantages of working in both of them. Thank you for watching. This has been Tips, Tricks, and How-To by Gone Researching.